Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we have a brand new tank. Yes, a tier 8 British tank, the Vickers Mbt. Now, this is a tier 8 medium tank, and of course, if you want to be able to get it, you will have to purchase some crates. So we're going to talk about the tank, we're going to look at the stats, we're going to get into a quick game, and then we're going to decide really if it's worth trying to get this tank. So straight off the bat, let's just see. I mean, well, it's a tier 8 tank. If you wanted to sell it, yeah, no point selling it. It is a collectible, as most are now. Obviously, I know Wargaming are changing a lot of the premium tanks to collectibles. I don't mind that, because at least if you do get it, you don't like it, you will be able to get some gold back, rather than the yellow sort of premium tanks, you can only get credits back. So I think that is one of the best things Wargaming have actually done. So hit points is 1,400. Now you got a turret armor of 225, so that's actually quite strong, especially for a medium tank in tier 8. That is fairly strong. Of course, there are going to be weak points on the tank, so you just have to know the weak points and learn how to maneuver, to angle, and where to sort of hide, what to hide. You have 150 millimeters on your hull as well. Again, not the best, but that's going to make it so you will be able to get some bounces if you are lucky. Other than that, not much armor elsewhere. Your damage per minute, you've got just over 2,000. Again, that is with me running calibrated shells, which I do most of my tanks. There's only a few tanks now that I do run the rammer. And that's certain tanks that already has massive amount of pen, but most of my tanks now I do run calibrated shells. I sacrifice the DPM just for a little bit more pen. So 9.51 seconds on your reload. Your penetration is 199 on your standard APCR and 277 on your premium APCR, 70 on your HE. So to be fair, 70 on your HE for a medium tank isn't that bad at all. You've got a 320 alpha gun, 270 on your premium and 400 on your HE. Your aim time is 3.2 and your gun dispersion is 0.335. So not the greatest when it comes to aim time and gun dispersion. I mean, it's not the best, but it's not the worst either. You have a very nice 8 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of 57 kilometers per hour. So a new medium tank, the Mbt Mk.3. Is anyone going to even try to get it? Is anyone going to try and get this British medium tank? Now, because it is available in crates, of course, you know where I'm going. No, this is not worth buying the crates for. I don't think it's a bad tank, by all means. I really don't think it is a bad tank, but considering it is for crates, it's not the best tank in the world. You're not going to bounce that much unless you are trying to bounce, unless you're going to get in certain positions where you are actively trying to get bounces. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I memean, it's nothing special. I do think there are better mediums out there. That tank right next to me now is not a better medium. The T44-100. That tank actually does suck, but this tank is better than that, if just in case you are wondering. So yeah, again, it's not a tank that I would try and spend a lot of money. It's not a tank that I would spend a lot of money to try and get, and in fact, it's not a tank I would spend any money on crates to try and get. Now, back in the day, 4 or 5 years ago, 3, 4 years ago maybe, I used to want to get every single tank in the game. No matter how much I spent, I would want to get that tank. But nowadays, you know, I've got a press account. I've always had a press account, and I am kind of, I do kind of look at these tanks thinking, do I want that on my main account? Because I am quite lucky. Obviously, us community contributors are quite lucky that we do get a press account. So if there is any time that I sit there and think, you know what, I really fancy playing this tank, I don't have to buy it. I can just go and play my press account and play the tank, because our press accounts do, of course, have every tank pretty much in the game. So I do now, just because I've got a press account doesn't mean that I don't want these tanks on my main account. There are certain tanks that I will try and get, tanks that I do like, tanks that I enjoy. But the way I look at the game now, when it comes to my personal, me personally, I do sit there and think, right, let's just take this Vickers, for example. Is it a good tank? It's okay. Is it a tank that if I buy, I'm going to play regularly? No. Okay, then it's not worth me buying. It's not worth me trying to get the tank. And that's how I look at things now. I sit there and think, am I going to play the tank? Now, before on my main account, of course, people used to know that I used to chase mastery badges. And there was once upon a time where I had every single one of my tanks mastered. I literally had aced every single tank that I've ever played. Nowadays, I'm not as good as I used to, and it's a lot more difficult for me to be able to ace all these tanks. But yeah, that's, and a lot of these tanks I used to play, I used to get the ace, and then to be fair, I used to never really play again. Now I don't really care too much about mastery badges. Yeah, it's nice having it, of course, but just close your eyes for a minute, ignore that shot, thank you. But yeah, I'm not as bothered as I once was. So I do sit there and think, right, am I going to play it? And if it's, even if that's a yes, I am going to play it. Is it going to be one of my go-to tanks? And that's the next thing I look at. Things like the Smasher. Well, I know the Smasher is a different breed, but things like the Smasher, am I going to play it? Yes. Am I going to play it if I want just a bit of fun, not just playing it? Yes, I am going to play it for fun. And am I going to play it in a month, 2 months, 3 months down the line? Yes. So that means it probably is worth me buying. But something like the Vickers Mbt Mk.3, in my opinion, it's not going to be a tank that I play regularly. Now, there are plenty of other medium tanks in the game, and especially when it comes to tier 8s, there's plenty of other medium tanks, loads. Now, I mean, fair play, not all of them are very good. I mean, you've got, let's just go through them, like the T95E2, Persian, Super Persian, T25 Pilot, T29, Astronex, Panther 2, Panzer 58, Indian Panzer, The Ram Panzer, I do enjoy, I'm not going to lie. The KPZ-07, The KPZ PR-68, Panther 88, Object 274, T44, okay, but not what it used to be. The ST62, Object 590, T44, STG, T54 Mod 1, nowhere near as it used to be. Defender Mark 1, okay, pretty good. Chimera, pretty good. Centurion Mark 5, pretty good. Centurion, pretty good. And so on, and so on, and so on. So to be fair, looking at mediums when it comes to tier 8s, there isn't anything that is like, wow, that is fantastic. Apart from the Progetto 46, which I do really, really love. There isn't anything that's that catches my eye, and it's not really a tier and tank type I go to have a bit of fun. If I do go to tier 8, usually it's either tank destroyers, light tanks, or heavy tanks. It's not really medium tanks. It's not the best tier when it comes to medium tanks. But as for the Vickers, just don't get it, guys. Honestly, it's not worth spending your money on right now, especially while it is in crates. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad tank. It's an okay tank, just not worth crates. Let me know if you got the tank and what you think of the tanks in the comments below. But for now, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsyreplays, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye.